Hello guys, and welcome to the British Grand Prix Tier 2. This is the 12th race of the season. I'm here with Evan once again, the sexy American, commentating today's race. Hopefully, some entertainment today. Maybe a bit of a wet one. You know, England's known for its lovely wet weather. Straight. Quali straight. Either way, we've got 17 drivers on the grid today. One more to join us in a minute. He's on his way home. But we have got two new drivers in the Alfa Romeos. We have Pack, or the Pack Gang, I guess we'll just call them. I don't actually know their real names. Let me quickly double check. We've got Pack. I'm just going to call him Brexit. His name's Callum, and we also have Adam. His Pack Boosie. Lovely, or Boosie, lovely name. But John stepped down. He has uni work to do, and irrelevant Ollie. I think he's won. How many races has he won this season? Two.
As cars are getting ready to roll out of the pits here, hopefully we see a nice, interesting qualifying session today. We're having issues with the stream.
Let me just make sure this is right. Who's been built? Okay, Aiden's coming. Okay, we're back.
Alright, I was like, we're having issues with the stream. I haven't heard of it in like a hot minute.
MC Turner came in the room, so I had to talk to him. Either way. So, Phil Mitchell's going to be first to settle out. Let's go. Couple drivers on the mediums, so they'll be going for the alternative strategy. So, before quality, top three.
Let's go with Finn, Callum. I'm gonna give Xbox 7 up a good shot here at voting today.
I'm going to go Hasbo, Phil Mitchell, and Blink. Phil Mitchell on the lap. We'll spectate him. Always first out. Always first on the lap. See what he can do. I know he's putting a lot of practice in, including changing camera angle just for this track, because the one he was using he didn't enjoy. Pretty clean at the minute. Behind him, insane power on the lap. He's on the mediums. So it'll be interesting to see what times people pull off, and those on the mediums, if there is rain halfway through the race, mediums could be good for strategy. A one stop instead of a two stop. Those that would have to pit onto inters. It'll be interesting to see if it rains or not. I'm gonna see.
Pretty good lap here from Mitchell so far to start the session for us.
This is definitely one of the harder tracks on the controller.
I know from experience that it's one of the harder tracks on controller.
I went on Ryan's YouTube Flippers Xbox 2 minutes before the race and did a quick lap on time trial. Never again. But Phil Mitchell said he will invest in a wheel if he has a good season, so see what happens. Phil Mitchell coming around the last turn to cross the line is going to set a 1:25.9. That's a very solid lap, to be fair.
It's now 10x going to cross the line. See what he can do. McLaren goes P2 with 1:26.3. That's pretty good.
Williams is that as Hasbo to cross the line.
Goes.
125.4. Which we're going to say goes first. And Insane Power second down from Tanek on the mediums. Be interesting to see if that actually works. But one of the Mercedes now starting the lap. That's Assassinaro now on to start his lap. We've got L Davies about to cross the line on the medium compound tyre.
He goes fourth fast.
127.2. 4 fast. I need to go on my own Twitch account and quickly sub to the Twitch. Anyway, a couple of people in chat. Easy championship for Hasbro now. At the minute, Callum Alphinator is leading by a fair amount, so need to see what Alphinator can do in terms of pace and stuff for the rest of the few races.
So X goes third with a 126.1. Active setup goes to 139.5. That's probably a bigger lap. He's now on his actual lap.
A good lap from Max.
Alphinator slots into fifth with a 126.4. That's pretty good. At least
He needs to find some pace from somewhere if he wants to make sure Hasbro doesn't start catching up. We're halfway through the season now, and Alphinator championship lead is starting to close. So see what happens there. Got a couple of people in the chat. Relevant Alpha for the win. We've got the 2 new Alpha drivers.
Stetson Aaron.
Xbox 7-Up is off the track. Assassinaro to cross the line. What's he going to do? 129.7. Not the best lap. He might have made a mistake or something throughout the lap. He might be on a new lap now. Taishu, if you want to message me on Snapchat, I can talk to you about racing, buddy. Aiden's in the lobby now, as we say that. So Aiden, just remember, spectator menu. Find the other Red Bull car, click spectate, and you can take over the seat that way. Max is into the pits, the house driver in front's into the pits. So far 125.4 from Hasbro on the banker lap. Be interesting to see how close people can get to that time. Couple drivers on an out lap now. I don't think anyone is actually on a lap. Assassin Aaron might be on a lap. He's beating his lap time by a tenth at the minute. He's struggling in the S's and invalidates, as we did say earlier, one of the harder turns to do on a controller. Dangerous donut on an outlap. We've got Swanee on an outlap on the mediums as well. You have to say the Haas livery looks nice from the outside, but when you're in the driver's seat, it's not as nice.
You could say that again.
I really do not like the camera angle when you drive the Haas. Assassinaro crosses the line, beats his time by 3 tenths, well, nearly a second actually, but was invalidated, and don't think he would have moved positions either. Assassinaro missing the pace from someone. Might be one of the settings he's running or something, but Dangerous Donut on a lap now, has a lot of traffic in front of him, so this will be interesting. If he can catch some DRS off the cars in front, possibly.
I'm very excited to see what the new Alfa Romeo drivers can do in terms of pace. See if we can throw a few more challengers into the podium positions. Possibly.
It'll be interesting. I know there's 2 more pack boys to join once seats become available, but it will be an interesting. Well, I think this is the first season, of course, for like a proper layout for CGRL. So I think next season Tier 2 could be a lot more competitive than what it is at the minute. So I'm going to go on board with Pack. I'm going to call him Brexit. Finn's no longer on the lap. It doesn't seem like he's using the DRS. His Pack, so possibly.
You're trying to set a banker. Maybe trying to get close to times. Who knows?
It looked like one of the McLarens might have gotten his way there, but he didn't seem to use the DRS when he was out. And I think he might have left the ERS button on throughout his lap. So he does it 127.3, didn't really use the DRS and didn't have much ERS left. So I think he might have forgot to turn that off on his this hot lap, but Bradley goes P7. We've got Davies still in P6 on those medium tyres. Hasbo's on a lap. We'll go on board with Hasbo as one of the Red Bulls in front of him gets past. He's 0.012 up on his time. I think Aiden's actually on a lap. No, he's warming his tyres up. He's doing another out lap.
Nice and smooth through cups. You don't want to throw it too much in your you're going to invalidate, or you're just going to snap it into a spin.
And he invalidates Hasbo. Was 2/10 up on his time, but invalidated through the S's. So he's either going to save everything he's got now and go for another lap, or he's going to pit now and just go onto a fresh pair of softs and wait to the end to go out again.
Made some contact with the Red Bull of Aiden here and picked himself up at 5 place grid penalty.
And Chris with tyres from the session. Don't really know who to watch here. We've got Xbox 7 up. He's halfway through the track. Finn's coming up to the line, but very down on his time. He's probably now starting his lap. We've got Insane Power, who's on an invalidated lap. He's about to start a lap as well, but he's very close to the Ferrari here. So I think these two are actually going to be racing each other now on their laps. Both of them going to be like, what are you doing? I'm on my lap. I think Finn backs out of his. That's probably because he has wing damage. Probably shouldn't have stayed out. Should have gone into the pits. We've got Alfnayer. Is he on the lap? I think he just improved his time actually at 1:26.4. Is on the lap now though.
Xbox 7 up goes past Max Rogers to take P3 with a 1:26.0.
Nice lap from him. The pack boys really struggling with the track limits on this track. As Aiden sets a purple sector 1, we're going to go on board with Aiden for the rest of his lap. And then halfway through quali, I think he's on a pad. Could be wrong. Does have a car ahead of him. Hopefully they get out the way. Don't ruin his lap. Dangerous donut. Oh!
And that ruined his lap that was going so well for the Red Bull. He's fire it up and try another one here.
Unlucky for Aiden. He hasn't got as much time as everyone else has to set him up after joining halfway through, and the purple sector 1, he's not going to be happy at all. And dives into the pits. He's going to go for a fresh pair of softs and go again. That would definitely be a penalty for Finn there, blocking Aiden on his hot lap.
That would be the happiest
on the lap, but he's invalidated. Yeah, he's not going to be happy at all. That'll definitely be a message up in the chat. We've got Phil Mitchell in P2 at the minute. YouTube Flippers on an out lap. Insane Powers on the lap, and he was up on his time, but it's now a second down, so that's unlucky for him. And Alphinator now going on to a lap. See what he can do. The current driver championship leader is being chased down by the likes of Hasbo and Phil Mitchell. It's quite good to see Max Rogers up there in P4. Made the switch to wheel. Had a couple chats about improving, and it's making it work. We do quickly jump down here. We have got Swanee, who's behind the Red Bull, so ignore that. We go back to Alphinator. I think he's the leading car that is on our lap in the minute. He's currently a 10th.5 down on his time, but for all we know, there's a lot of time to be made in the last few sectors. Alphinator had a good start to the season.
Grabbed a little too much through cups and invalidated his lap.
Seems to be struggling with the second half of the track, I guess.
Max Rogers is on a lap now.
Drop a ball with Swanee. He's on the mediums on the lap, just behind Alphinator. See what he can do.
Make those medium tires work.
Swanee has won a race this season, making the alternative strategy work. I think the alternative strategies only work on certain tracks. I think a track like this, you need to be on the faster strategy, just because of how much pace there is on this track. But Swanee's across the line, goes P11 on the mediums, on 127.6. I mean, it's not bad, but he wants to be in the top 10. His YouTube flipper's going to come around the final turn now to cross the line. It's not looking like a great lap. He's going to go P12. It's a 127.9. Must have made a mistake on his lap. I don't think he has time to go again either, so it's unlucky for him. Who have we got towards the end? We've got Max Rogers on the lap. He's currently 5 tenths up on his time, so this is looking like a P2 for Max here. As long as he can put the rest of this lap together, this is could possibly P1 for Max.
Here he comes through the Bell chicane, round the left corner. Giving everything he's got, and it's P2.
Oh, he matches the time.
He matches
the exact
Hasbro's
same time.
Brilliant.
That is amazing from Max there. It just shows the pace difference between a wheel and a controller. Recently switched onto medium TC and onto a wheel. Then he's matching the. I think Hasbro has the most race wins this season, but a very, very good lap there from Max. Alphinator on a lap. He's coming towards the end of it now. He's a 10th up on his time. I don't think it might be enough to jump one position, but see if he can gain any more time throughout this last few turns. Crosses the line. Stays P6.
If I was Hasbro right now, I would jump on a new set of softs and try to secure my pole position.
Ooh. Just jumped on board with pack Brexit there and spun out of the exit of the right-hander there in sector 2. So the pack boys not having a great start here. Aiden's invalidated his lap. He's about to start another one. So this is the last shot for Aiden to set a lap here. Dangerous Donuts on a lap. He's coming towards the end now. Sector 3.
Rusto, nice and smooth. Want to be too over-aggressive on the curb. Most of the curves around here, you want to
set a good time there, otherwise he's going to be starting quite far back. Doesn't want to invalidate. Foot down, full throttle. He's going to set 126.6.
Those 7th passes. That's
reasonable. Who have we got at the front? We've got one of the Williams. Phil Mitchell's on a lap, but he's invalidated, so he's just trying to get to the line. He's got 50 seconds to do so, so I think he's alright.
Max is not going to have enough time to set another lap, so Hasbro's going to see if he can improve his P1.
Hasbro has the time to do so, he just needs to make it work. We're going to go on board with Aiden, so the one-shot lap. This is the only lap he has to set a time after getting blocked earlier on with his purple sector 1. I don't think he's done that this time. He just needs to set a lap, get a time on the time board. Very clean through the S's on the DRS now. He's got traffic ahead of him. Purple sector 2.
Looking good for Aiden here.
He just needs. Hasbro's in front. He has 7 seconds to cross the line. I don't think he's going to make it.
He's not going to make it.
Unless we've got the time glitch again.
We might have. Through Vale for Aiden. Rounding out the last corner. Giving it everything he's got on the Red Bull over the curb. And that's going to hamper his lap time. He goes 3rd fastest ahead. Phil Mitchell.
We got purple sector 2 and 3, but just missed out on the end. But Phil Mitchell's a 10th up on his time. Hasbro managed to cross the line and start another lap, so Phil Mitchell validates his time. So he's just gonna
cruise on,
spin and crash into the wall. So we've got one of the pack boys. We've got Pack Boosie, who hasn't set a lap yet. Is on his lap, gets through the S's, doesn't invalidate, so this is his one chance to set a good lap time. He hasn't set one yet, so this is his only chance, and he also has Blink behind him. Both haven't set a lap.
So, as he goes wide, out of stow, and that's it for...
The Pack was on a very good lap from the looks of it. If we watch him cross the line, we'll get what time he set. So he sets on 127.1, so...
Blink rounds out of the final corner. Goes 4th fastest.
Blink goes 4th. A very nice final lap there from Blink as Hasbro up on. So Hasbro's invalidated, so Max is going to be matching Hasbro there. I don't know if there's anyone out that can beat that time.
The Red Bull
invalidated.
Of Aiden.
Dangerous Donut hasn't invalidated. He's still on his lap. Assassin Aaron's on his lap. He's a 10th up. So who's at the front of the pack to cross the line? Dangerous Donut. So jump. No. Yeah. Sorry, we'll stick on board with Dangerous Donut. Come around the. Come out to the last turn now. It's looking like a good time here from Donut.
Running out the last corner. Go to 6 fast. It's now rounding to the last corner. I believe it's Assassin Aaron and Xbox 7 Up. Aaron can improve. And Xbox 7 Up.
Xbox 7 Up goes first.
Pole position for the AlphaTauri. We haven't seen an AlphaTauri in pole position since. Has it been since China? Or the Netherlands?
Yeah, I want to say China.
So pole position.
I think it might have been Netherlands. I think Percy might have won Netherlands, but either way, Xbox 7 Up.
Puts great lap right at the end. And he brought it when it count, and he put himself on pole position.
Definitely some new names up at the top. Then Xbox 7 Up getting P1, and then we've got Hasbro and Max who matched each other, P2, P3. Aiden got a 5-grid penalty.
Along with Dangerous Donut.
5-grid position penalty with Dangerous Donut, so that's probably from where Dangerous Donut blocked him and he had to avoid, or there was some contact that we didn't see, but that's unlucky for them. Blink goes P5. Phil Mitchell invalidated his last lap, which he was beating his time, but that's unlucky. Insane Power P8 and Tenic P9, the two McLarens looking for a good race, and the Drivers' Championship leader at the minute down in P10. So Alphinator needs to do what he does best and get his foot down and try and get to the front of the field to get some more points to keep that lead in the Drivers' Championship, which he is currently leading Harry by 61 points. But that's all to change.
Very excited qualifying session. It's definitely shaking up the grid. This is going to be a good one.
You could definitely see how much people are improving throughout the season. We're halfway through now. Max Rogers, one of the names that was, well, he didn't finish the first 3 races, I don't think, and now he's just brought out his pace and looking to have a good second half to the season. If we look at the AlphaTauri of Tyler, I think it's Tyler in P1, Xbox 7 Up. His last 3 races hasn't scored a point, so see what he can do here in Silverstone. Is there going to be rain on the second half or not? But
I guess we're gonna wait and find out.
The predicted strategies: soft, medium, lap 10 to 12. We can go soft, hard, lap 9. So I don't know why you would go hard, but you never know.
Looks like the only drive bit start on set of mediums is Davies.
Davies going for something different. For some reason, I can't come out of TV pod camera angle. I think my RB's broken on my controller.
That's fun.
How do I think it's the game. I don't even think it's me. Oh, there we go. Lovely job.
As we had contact in the back between Aaron, Chris, and Lucy, and they've all been disqualified. So some nice cold tires from the back.
Could we see a massive crash into turn 1 as we're used to on F1? But either way,
Abby
top 3. What are you predicting for the end of the race?
I think Max Rogers is going to pull something out of the bag here. Take a win, unless Asmo could do something about it. And I think Phil Mitchell will fight from P5 and get on the podium.
I think the crash at the back was Chris's fault, according to a couple of messages I'm seeing pop up in the Discord. But for top 3, if Max doesn't make a mistake into turn 1, because I feel like the pressure's going to get to him, I think Max could be up there for a podium position today. I want to say Hasbro might make a mistake. I think him and Xbox will be pushing each other, and I think both might make a mistake. I think I'm going to say Aiden, Phil Mitchell, and Max up there in the top 3.
Well,
maybe
Xbox 7 Up, fly in front
between.
of the field. Phil wants to get this one underway.
He's keen for sure. Interesting to see what happens today in terms of penalties and DNFs. I don't think we'll see any more than 3 DNFs, if that. Will there be rain later on as well? Who knows? I don't think I've ever done 25-50% Silverstone race without rain, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I did the start last week, Owen.
Saturday.
Yeah, you can take it.
We'll go for it. There's everyone lining up on the grid now. YouTube Flipper coming to finish off the last person that... Oh, I don't know what I'm trying to say there. I'm just going to stop talking and get underway here. So, five lights come on. So that's out on our side. They're not on theirs. And as the lights out, and away we go for the British Grand Prix. We've got Xbox 7 Up has a really bad start there. Hasbro taking the lead, Max flying up as well. We've got a couple, one of the cars wide. That looks like Phil Mitchell wide in the first turn.
Yeah, he just got it off the track and spun it around.
One of the Alfa Romeos has crashed as well. It's like 4 wide back there, but we've got Insane Power making their way up the field. Xbox 7 Up had a really bad start. Blink, Maiden getting back up there as well. Looks like a big crash at the back. YouTube Flipper's made his way up from 15th up to 10th, so that's a good start from him. But it looks like Phil Mitchell caught one of the curbs and he spun again.
That spin! It's the Ferrari, and it's our championship leader. Alphinator spun it round and broke his front wing.
Well, good start from those boys. Insane Power and Xbox 7 Up fighting for 3rd place up at the front.
Blink is really watching this keenly. Oh, a little bit of contact there.
Bradley and Swanee side by side for that turn as well, and Chris and YouTube Flipper fighting as well. Pack side by side.
Ooh, right around the outside. Yes, that's a great move right there.
An interesting first lap for sure. A lot of fighting towards the back half.
Back into P3. Now here comes Insane Power looking for that 3rd spot. Goes down the inside and takes the spot. But Xbox with the better run.
Power gets it done. Xbox
comes back at him.
Ooh, bit of contact.
Blade's watching this. He's like, "Come on, let me through. I want to get through." As believes.
And Max up at the top.
Trying to set a little bit of
Look
gap.
at this train. Look at the gap between 4th and 8th, or 4th and 10th. I think there's a bit of a glitch there saying Bradley's a lap down. That's not true. It's all the way from 3rd down to 13th. They're all joined up together. But a couple of cars into the pits after a few instants lap 1. But Bradley goes on the inside of Tenek.
Makes a little bit of contact with it, but keeps it relatively smooth and somewhat the same.
So Brink's going to go for a move on Xbox 7 Up here.
Looks for it. Ah, can't find the space.
Mega first lap here. We've got Dangerous Donut into the pits for the hards and Alphinator's onto the softs. And not a good start from Phil Mitchell. Alphinator or Dangerous Donut. Phil and Alphinator, one of the top half of the table. It looks like one of the cars in the background side by side into the turn. There's 3 wide.
Oh!
As the McLaren Tenet goes off, doesn't spin. He
has to go off. He's kept it straight. Now they're side by side to the X's. Oh, they contacted. Round they go. Round is the Alfa Romeo.
It's a Pack. I can't see anything because it doesn't give me a good camera angle. Pack's onto the gravel. Looks like he just caught the worst out of him. 2 Haas drivers side by side into their next turn. Ooh, Swanee goes in front. Flipper's also going to try and attack the back of Chris here. A little bit further back, but up at the front we've got one of the drivers into the pits there. I'll tell you what, the camera angles in this track are horrible. I keep trying to switch to see what's going on and I can't see anything. It looks like the fight for P3 is still on. Hasbro taking the lead, 2 seconds ahead of Max, and Max is 3.5 seconds in front of Insane Power. So those two flying ahead now.
This is now DRS enabled this lap, so Xbox 7 Up is going to get a nice, neat little run here down the McLaren. See if he can get past. Down the wall, hitting straight towards left field. Look at up the inside.
Oh, a bit of contact.
That's the efforts into the spot, but I think Insane Power's going to try to fight this back. Who would, but just couldn't find his way through.
A lot of little races going on here. You got groups of 4 all fighting each other, and always one of them's getting picked off. Sassanaro makes it past the Alfa Romeo of Pac Boozy. Both the Alfa Romeos not having the great start to their first league race in the Tier 2, but YouTube Flipper's made his way up from 15th to 10th. He's just on his drive now. Phil Mitchell obviously had a very, very unlucky start from P4 and
nice battle for
his way back up.
P6 between Blink and
Aiden.
He's going to fire down the inside into Stowe and up into P5 for the Red Bull.
Looks like one of the Hasses has crashed out. It looks like everyone for the win.
Blink's gonna fight back right around the outside through Vale and takes the spot back.
Nice racing from those two. Just enough space left for each other. Aiden has got the pace for sure, but just the DRS and those guys all fighting. It's definitely helping Max and Hasbro gain a lot of make a big gap here.
Back at the front here, Hasbro has pulled a 3-second gap to Max. Everyone's still squabbling away for positions. As now Aiden is on the back foot here in P6, and that's going to allow the AlphaTauri of Bradley to try to find his way through.
Aiden's going to go for the inside line. Maybe a little switch back here if he can make it work. Aiden would have got a track limit warning there, so don't know if warnings will be a big play in it today. I don't think there'll be as many as we think there will be. F1 goes into the pits and leaves the session but hasn't retired.
Oh, X7 has spun it out of Cops. I think he just lost it on the exit curb and spins across the track.
Oh no. So the P1 after quali just seems to be unlucky. Maybe the pressure got to him, but Insane Power now up into third place. Blinks on the back of him with a DRS. Hasn't got any ERS left. He's been pushing very hard.
X7 back on the track through the S's and almost sliced off the front wing of YouTube Flipper.
YouTube Flipper already got a bit of wing damage from Chris in the Haas. I think he went a bit too defensive and broke his wing, so he won't be too happy with that. The Haas driver definitely causing a few collisions this season.
Now the battle for sixes heating up again.
So Bradley's nearly out of ERS, and so is Swanee. Will Swanee go for a move here, or will he wait for the DRS?
He's going to wait for the DRS, I believe, through down the Wellington straight, trying to set it up the inside.
As the DRS isn't using the overtake, never mind, correctly.
It looks defensive, Swanee still went to the inside. Backs out of it at the last second.
Mega fight here for P3.
Up the inside of YouTube Flipper looking for that 8th spot, and he's got it.
On those medium tyres, this is looking good for Davies. Yeah, 80% ERS on the alternative strategy. He's going to have the quicker tyre compound towards the end. If he can just keep consistent, not get any penalties, this could be very good for Davies here. As he, as I say that, picks up a penalty, so that's my bad, commentator's curse. But Swanee and Bradley side by side.
It's now the battle for P3 as Blink looked at the inside of Insane Power, couldn't find his way through Stowe. A nice little race
fight here for P3. Yeah, we've got loads of fights going on. There's, the field's starting to separate up now. Phil Mitchell P11 working his way back up from the spin he had in the first lap with 2 spins in the space of 2 turns. As Blink's going to go down the inside of Insane Power.
Ooh.
Looked like he backed out.
Oh, he's going to look around the outside now. He keeps the spot.
Inside for the next turn.
Ooh, Inspires leave the space. Oh, it's fantastic. Sub by side hitting on the Wellington straight. And that's going to be the Ferrari up at the P3.
Bit of contact there, but he had the DRS, managed to pull a little bit of a gap there, but that means Aiden's now caught up to Insane Power. He's going to have the DRS soon. And all this fighting is just helping Hasbro and Max create that lead.
Aiden gets on the curb and slides. Keeps it relatively gathered up here. But now he's under threat from the half of Swanee.
Aiden picks up his first penalty of the race. The fight for P3 is still on.
Are still in that DRS range, trying to get a nice run for the S's down the hanger straight.
Insane Power has the DRS on Blink now, and Aiden's going to be pushing onto Insane Power as well. Yeah, yellow flag sector 1 that looks like one of the Hasses. It's not Swanee, so we'll carry on. It looks like Chris retired
Power
from the
goes
session.
very wide through Stowe. That's going to allow Aiden just try to fire up the inside.
Insane Power isn't giving up the move though. Aiden's still on the back of him. He's going to have the DRS on this next straight.
Swan has a nice view of this battle right here.
That little wide turn from Insane Power there has given Blink the gap, so Insane Power is not going to have the DRS on Blink for the next straight.
Yes,
so this
Chris
could be good for Aiden and Swanee here.
That's why
he got a safety car. I'm sure a lot of cars would have liked the safety car there, but
No safety car today. It's now Aiden.
so
And Swanee
insane
got
power.
very sideways. And the traction gen just couldn't get the power down.
Aiden on the back of Insane Power now.
Ooh,
Insane
soft.
Power doesn't have the DRS on blink after the mistake he made
Aiden
earlier on. Insane
really
Power's not going to get
sensitive.
past.
Can't
Let's say
find it
Aiden, not
through.
Insane Power. I'm getting all my names mixed up now. There's just so much going on. Blink. Swanee goes for the move on Aiden.
Gets
Aiden
the
goes
spot.
a little bit wide into the turn.
I see has huge momentum on the McLaren into Cobbs. He's gonna wind up and fire it through the hanger straight.
If Insane Power makes any mistakes here, Swanee's going to go for the move. He's going to have the DRS in a second anyway.
But now Aiden's gonna try to fight back on the Haas. They both get the DRS as Instant Power is still out of DRS range of the Ferrari.
Aiden saving the ERS. I know the two cars in front of him both very low, so Aiden's just waiting for the right moment to push it. I think 2 more laps and you're going to see cars coming in for the pits, so couldn't undercut the something that Aiden goes for here. As Swanee's on the back of Insane Power, very close here. Insane Power goes a little bit wide there.
Swanee gets very sideways.
Inside.
Oh, he had to back out of that one. Swanee shut the door.
Insane Power has Swanee behind him, who has the DRS. Doesn't look like there's enough. Doesn't look like the straight's long enough for them to actually gain anything if they don't use the overtake button. As Swanee picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Swanee. Now
I don't think that straight is long enough.
It's not.
Swanee.
Which it was, as he's going to make it up the inside of it's over the contact. It's going to be side by side going into Cobbs. And that's going to be Swanee up the. Oh, they. Oh! Insane Power fired it back up the inside. Couldn't find the place, but Aiden's going to try to file it through on the McLaren. He gets the spot.
Aiden gets past Insane Power. Insane Power losing 2 positions there in 1 turn. As Aiden has a little bit of a bad exit there, but Swanee doesn't have it any better. Has the DRS, isn't using the overtake. So will anyone dive into the pits now and go for that undercut on the fight for 3rd, or staying out? Fight for 3rd is isn't going to disappear anywhere. I think this is going to be like this for the rest of the race. Doesn't look like any rain to come though, so it's looking like a dry race. As Phil Mitchell fighting his way back up the field as Pack Brexit spins on the 2nd to last turn there. Phil Mitchell in 9th on his recovery drive.
Now.
Yeah, we've got Aiden on the back of Swanee. He has the DRS. Is he going to use the overtake? He's not. He's saving the overtake.
Now he's
using his. This way you can see the red flashing light on the back of Swanee's car, so he knows he's either out of ERS this lap or he's running below 20%. So if you're Aiden, you want to attack now. Insane Power 1.5 seconds behind, so he's starting to struggle on those tyres. Blink is starting to get caught up by these two as well. So fight for P3 is truly on. Aiden goes very wide into the S's here.
Trying to make up plenty of time on the Haas. Swanee goes a little bit wide on the exit.
He has the DRS. He's not going to use the overtake. I would definitely be using it if I see that red flashing light on the back of Swanee's car. He's definitely struggling for pace compared to what Aiden is at the minute. I'll even going to dip into the pits here.
As Aiden's going to come in and try
Aiden's
to
into the
undercut both the Ferrari and the Haas.
So Aiden gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits.
Oh.
That's the. I was waiting for the warnings to disappear from the bottom left, and it just Insane Power. Sorry, Aiden a bit too quick into the pits. That's gonna throw away his chances of, I think, fighting for that P3 spot. But because of Aiden fighting Swanee and Insane Power has now got a 3-second gap from Swanee, so he's not got the DRS. Phil Mitchell off into 8th.
Aiden's going to file out here. I think he's going to file out behind the Alfa Romeo of Brexit. There he comes out of the pits now. He jumps right ahead of the Mercedes and right behind the Alfa Romeo.
5-second time penalty. Not going to help him at all. He has 8 seconds now.
Swanee has gained a little bit of time here on Blink. He's cut the gap down to 1.1 seconds. Still just that little tiny bit far out of the DRS range.
This could be interesting here. Does Swanee or Blink dip into the pits here and try and undercut? Or gain a little bit of an advantage here? Will Aiden gain an advantage on those medium tyres or not? We're about to find out. Either this lap or next lap, both will be diving into the pits. Those softs will be on it.
Ferrari's going to dive into the pits. Blink dives into the pits. Swanee stays out. Trying to do another lap of the softs. So Blink is in also insane power, also coming into the McLaren.
So Blink and insane power both into the pits.
Blink has the wing change.
Blink has a wing change. Oh no.
So
we're about to find out where
Aiden's coming through Vale right now. Is he gonna jump
like
the Ferrari here?
He might jump the Ferrari, but it's the McLaren I'm questioning about. McLaren was behind him.
It's gonna be a close one here. Is he coming out the front stretch towards Compton? He's got it.
So he jumps the Ferrari and the McLaren. This is not looking good for Swanee.
Swanee needs to come in as soon as he can.
He's gonna, so if I'm right, he's gonna get jumped by Aiden no matter what then, if Aiden doesn't make any mistakes. But that's something that could be dangerous for Max and Hasbo here. If Max was to pit now and Hasbo doesn't, Max could jump Hasbo if
I think Max should try that undercut. And it's Hasbo dives into the pits now. And Max is gonna follow him through.
Don't get a 5-second time penalty.
You see Swanee through here in a bit.
So what's Swanee going to do? He's going to dive into the pits as well.
So Bradley should also be coming in soon. Max, I think Davies is on the medium tire. He's going to stay out a little bit longer here. And then make something in the stands. Bradley comes in as well. So
Davies on the alternative strategy. He needs to put his foot down now and make as big of a gap as he can in the clean air with no cars ahead of him. He will go into the lead, so Phil Mitchell will also dive into the pits.
So Davies is going to take the lead of the Grand Prix. And it's now running up Hasbo.
Strategy. I think he's the only car that started on the alternative strategy. He hasn't got any wing damage, so at the minute, looking good for Davies. He just needs to make a big of a gap.
Alright, here comes Aiden on the front stretch. Will he jump the Haas? It's going to be a really close one coming through Cobbs. He's going to instead of around the outside, he's going to get in for that Haas. Swanee gets sideways on those cold tires, and Aiden's going to jump the Haas here.
The Haas crew getting that pit stop done nice and quickly. I think Swanee just struggled with pace outside of the pits. Maybe the cold tyres not helping him there, but Aiden got the DRS as well, so helping him even more there. But we've got Alphanate on the back of Bradley here. Has the DRS onto the straight. Is he going to attack him? And Blink on the back of Insane Power, it's side by side. Blink's actually gone onto the hard compound tyre.
He doesn't think the mediums are going to last that long, so he's trying to play the tire game.
I think he's going for the pace towards the end of the race, but I don't think that was the right call. I think the medium's definitely a lot quicker than the hards. And the yellow flag sector 1, that looks like one of the Mercedes.
It's Cessonera. He's spun around outside of turn 2.
Blink gets past Insane Power. Insane Power right on the back of him now on the S's. Look down the inside there, but Blink cut it off.
Now the DRS is required.
Aiden getting attacked by Swanee here. The fight for P4 is truly on at the minute, or P3 because Davis still needs to pit. Blink and Insane Power side by side, both making a bit of contact there. They're not giving up that position. They are fighting till the end, which maybe
Max
isn't
picks
the right
his
call.
thirst.
Maybe.
3 second time on the other race.
Do you want to jump into race director and just see if Hasbo has any? Alphanate are only now going into the pits. Obviously he got some, I think some damage on the first lap and had to pit first lap for some soft compound tyres. So he's going to be going to the end now, but he's got a recovery drive and a half ahead of him, as Phil Mitchell does. He's now up into P10 after his 2 spins on the first lap.
Lee Davies
Swanee on the back of Aiden,
losing a ton of time on those medium tires, as Hasbo's now cut the gap down to 1.8 seconds.
Daisy's is losing a lot of time for Hasbro, but compared to Max, he's not really losing much. I think it's just the raw pace Hasbro has on those medium compound tyres, which I have to say look very good with the Renault livery. Yeah,
Yeah, with the Renault livery,
look very nice with that
brilliant.
car. But the fight for P4. Swanee still on the back of Aiden, and Insane Power on the back of Blink. I think Bradley's dropped off a little bit. Has the clean air to try and catch back up. Blink and Insane Power. I think Blink is on the slower compound tyres, but maybe Insane Power struggling to get the tyre temps up.
Let's try to break the toe of the McLaren into Stowe. I got it. Battle for fourth now as they're out of the front corner. Aiden only half a second ahead of the Haas. Just trying to
jump on board with Davies here just to see if he tries to defend that first place against Hasbro.
Now has the DRS.
Well, we know.
As Cloud
Hasbro goes for a little bit of a silly move.
Cloud's now starting to form over here in Silverstone. Wouldn't be too far away from some rain.
We could see some rain.
Again?
12 laps left of the Grand Prix. Davies and Hasbro now fighting for that P1.
Hasbro is desperate to get past the racing point. He does not want to be held up behind him, so Max can gain more time.
Hasbro just needs to make sure he does it in the right place, because if he does this wrong, he could cost himself the race.
Is now
Swanee on the back of Aiden.
With the overtake, with DRS. Lee Davies out of DRS is charging it up. Hasbro is going to look for a move around the outside, couldn't find his way through. Tries to switch. As now he's going to go down the inside of the bell. And into the lead.
Nice move done.
So back up front is the Renault of Hasbro.
So Aiden and Swanee fighting for that P4.
Swanee has it. Aiden hasn't shaken the Haas. The Haas is keeping right on pace with the Red Bull.
I was trying to see if anyone's going to tell me if it's going to rain or not, but I can't seem to find anything. But Blink has made a 1.5 second gap onto Insane Power, and YouTube Flipper has spun
Yellow flag
into the
sector.
wall.
It's YouTube Flipper.
I think he was side by side with Dangerous Donut or
I
something.
think they make a little contact inside the rundown towards Stowe. Now Swanee really on the back of the Red Bull now. As now he is retired from the session. Out goes the Williams of YouTube Flipper as we have a virtual safety car here in Silverstone. This is going to help Lee Davies. If the safety car stays out for long enough, I think the Racing Point won't lose many spots. It would be brilliant for it.
This is perfect for Davies.
He needs to drive as slow as possible, but go as fast as possible towards the pit. I've
just had my dad come in my room because he was watching my brother race and said Dangerous Donut has murdered Ryan.
As Davies said, he's out. He decides not to pit.
Davies, no. No. Davies.
He's trying to go long and he's trying to stay on these medium tires until the rain hits, if rain is coming.
Maybe that's why he stayed out. If that is why, then that's the right move, I guess, but yeah,
he's going to struggle.
Getting murdered by Dangerous Donut from the sound of it. Gone to
green flags are back
sources.
out. We're back up.
So Swanee's still on the back of Aiden. Swanee and Aiden fighting a lot, which is giving Max the
gap
the free air up top. Yeah, he's just
now Swanee with DRS and DRS. Not close enough. Do the Red Bull.
A bit wide there. So I reckon these guys will be fine towards the end, but Swanee's not using any ERS. He has 100%.
Oh, he's going to move. He's going to use it now.
Back of Aiden.
The goal towards the outside towards Cops. I think Aiden's just going to let him. Yep, Aiden does decide to fight this. Swanee had to be before that.
So Davies doesn't pit. which, if there isn't... Oh, Aiden! Was
Very
got on the screen there,
sideways.
went sideways and nearly died. Yellow flag
Together.
sector 1. That's one of the Alpha Tories. Is that
It-
Bradley? No, that's the
it's
other one. That's
like
Exalt
what's that?
7 up. Qualified first and is now basically last. Not the best race for him.
Our points leader is mixing it up outside the points here, P13, with the Alfa Romeo.
That mistake that Aiden made in the S's, nearly losing the car, gave Swanee a 2-second gap. But yeah, assuming that Davies has stayed out for the rain, that needs to hit soon, because what the softs can do 10 to 12 laps, and if he leaves it too late, he's not going to get anything out of those tyres, and like, I don't know, he needs to do something.
The fastest lap of the Grand Prix, the Williams, 128.8.
He's on the recovery drive still after the 2 spins on the first lap. I think he'll be happy with points, but we need the rain to come soon for Davies if it is to come. It is getting very dark. Quick jump into Discord, see if anyone has mentioned the rain.
For P11 here, it's dangerous turn is being closed, it was being hunted down here by the Alfa Romeo, brings it, trying to get on the back of the Ferrari.
Pack on the back of Dangerous Donut.
Dangerous turn,
Pack
burn
brings it.
damage.
No.
Alright, he's good to go.
So Pack on the fresher tyres as well. Thin on the hards, 14 laps. That'll go to the end, but once again, this rain needs to come. And the S's, Finn has a really bad line through there.
Yeah, he's struggling on those hard tires.
Pack goes onto the grass there. Has the DRS and the ERS, but lost all the time he gained through Magnussen Beckett's there because of the little touch on the grass. Davies hasn't pitted again. Max is starting to catch up. Is on the back of him now. 17 laps on those mediums. They're not gonna be looking too fresh.
Not gonna be feeling too fresh either.
8 laps left in this Grand Prix.
Rain the last 8 laps. Throw some curveballs in there.
Even if it starts raining, it needs to rain a lot for the track to even be in a position where you need to pit sprinters, because you can still race in the wet on these tyres and be quicker than what the Inters are. So Max is starting to catch up to Davies. Doesn't have the DRS, has all the ERS he needs, but it'll be interesting to see. Will Davies send it into the pits now and get on some soft tyres, or is he going to stay out? He's staying out. But Davies wants this rain.
He's praying for the rain.
If it's coming.
As now the battle for P8 here is starting to shape up between Bradley Tennick and Phil Mitchell, who's on the recovery drive. Tennick on the back of the AlphaTauri.
Tennick has the DRS.
Bradley's going to try to cover it off. I think Tennick's going to try to... Ooh, couldn't fight his way through around the outside. This battle is helping Phil Mitchell a lot as he's trying to close in here.
Tennick's on 14 lap old hards, so even if he does catch up to Bradley's going to have that raw pace. What he needs to just fly in the clean air. And he needs to save his ERS and use that when he can. Phil Mitchell on the back of Tennick as well, and Pack Brexit still on the back of Dangerous Donut. So a couple of fights towards the back of the field, and Max is also on the back of Davies within the second gap now. But we'll stay on board with Tennick.
Gets the DRS.
Phil Mitchell's also right close to the back of Tennick as well. So fight for P8. Once I go around the turn, I'm going to take a quick look at penalties. We've got a lot of penalties throughout the field. These top, P6 down to P10 all have 6 to 9 seconds worth of penalties. Aiden has 14 seconds. There is a lot of penalties. I don't know how people have got so many, but fair enough.
As Lee Davies now finally dives into the pits on those older medium tires, he's going to go onto the stock tires and try to make something of this last stint.
So think he might have left it way too late to gain
He's
anything
gonna
out of
get
this.
jumped by, I think, sort of fall outside the points. As now here comes Tenek
Tenek
round the
gets past
outside.
Bradley, but
of the
Phil's going
AlphaTauri.
for it as well.
Oh, contact!
Bradley.
It gets a lot of understeer through Stowe and just right into the side of it.
Mitchell just clipped out by the movement of his car there. So where will L. Davies come out? He's
It
going
won't
to
be
come
in
out
the
behind
next
Phil.
position, I'll tell you that.
So he's going to be out of the points at the minute. But he needs to put his foot down. I definitely
Actually,
think he
he's
left
going to
that
be in
way
the
too
points.
late.
He's going to be right in P10 with one chance to
Oh
point.
yeah. My maths is dreadful. I forgot it was in the top 10 in the first place.
So that
Phil Mitchell
leaves
up into P9.
Swanee out in that last podium spot.
Phil Mitchell, obviously that contact from Bradley. Bradley braked late to try and defend it and ended up just nearly killing Phil. Phil not using the DRS for some reason. Maybe he didn't have it and we just got a DRS glitch there. But Max is up into P2. Swanee's P3. Aiden a second and a half behind. But even if he does try and catch up, he has nearly triple Swanee's penalties. So
But now on the soft tires, Lee Davies is going to push as hard as he can to catch up to the battle for P7, which is still going on with the attitude.
there's a lot of positions that can be gained. Yellow flag sector 2. That looks like an Alfa Romeo.
It was
Pack
between
Brexit.
Alfa Nader and the Alfa Romeo.
I think it was between Finn and the Alfa Romeo. I think Alfa and I just switched through. They just donut is just a brick wall not letting people past. So L Davies on his way back to Phil, but Phil onto the grass there a little bit on the back of Bradley. Bradley's got no ERS to defend with. Phil Mitchell quite low as well, but Tenek has a lot of ERS, but just the older tyres. 5 laps left of the Grand Prix. Fight for P7 is on.
It's
What will
it's
Phil
on
Mitchell
now.
do here? Right on the back of Bradley.
As Tenek picks up the
Gets
3 second time
another
penalty.
3 second time.
He's trying to find anywhere
Davies
on the
is
track
flying.
to gain time.
Davies has gained a second there, and obviously all of these guys
He's
fighting
gonna
is going to
gain.
help Davies a lot.
But can he pass is the real question form out of this. As now Bradley is going to get on the back here of the McLaren. He's going to fire down the inside. Nope, Tenek runs a little bit too deep as Bradley makes a nice little exploration drive over the curbs. And that's allowing Phil Mitchell to be right on the back of the AlphaTauri. Uses the overtake, goes to the inside. Down the old pit straight. And up into P8 for the Williams, but Bradley's going to fight back into Cobbs.
Bradley backs out, which is good. I don't think he should have even sent it down the inside there. As the safety car comes out.
Safety car with about 5 laps to go. I believe it's for the Mercedes of Assassin Aaron. DNFs right towards the end of the lap. And diving into the pit is Swanee's in, Aiden's in. So Banks is out. He's going to inherit that podium spot. With
So
everyone.
Hasbro Max stay out, which I think smart. I wouldn't be pitting either.
As
I'd
now
stay out.
in comes
I
the
don't
same power and his teammate Tenek. Double stack at McLaren. That's disastrous for both of them. As also in same power, Bradley and
think-
Mitchell's
So this
in.
is perfect for
This is
Davies.
perfect for Lee Davies, who's going to inherit, I believe, up to P4 in this Grand
If I
Prix.
was Phil Mitchell or Bradley there, I wouldn't have pitted. The tyres are 8 laps old. The safety car's going to be at least 2-3 laps.
So Lee Davies representing Racing Point up into P4.
Assassin Aaron crashed out. It'll be interesting to see if Hasbro and Max both dive into the pits when they get there. Well, they're both caught up with this
They have caught up
safety
with the
car
safety
now.
car, so they're
And
going to
Blinks on
be.
tap, 10 up hold. This could be Davies' win, you know.
This is going to be a good one. Don't go anywhere
To be
yet,
fair,
folks.
Davies has
We're going to
6
have
seconds.
a nice little.
6 seconds worth of penalties for Davies, though. So even if he has a soft compound tyre, there is a lot of penalties at the front of the field, but the penalties will make
Max
a big difference here
Has
throughout the field.
3 seconds worth of penalties. So if he jumps the Renault, Hasbro on the restart, he's gonna have to get a 3-second gap. With the pace of that Renault, I don't think he could manage.
If Hasbro makes any mistake and gets overtaken by Max and then is fighting Blink and Davies, anything could happen. Hasbro could pick up a penalty, Hasbro could spin. There is anything all here to play for at the front.
I think the top 3, if I were them, I would stay out now because Lee Davies is pushing to catch up to the back of
There's
the
no
safety
point
car.
putting now. Blink's on the back of them. They're going to lose too much time if they pit, and I think if they do pit, they're just throwing away everything they've got.
They have stayed
The
out.
safety car is going to be out for another 2 laps at least. Yeah, a lap or 2. So that's why I don't understand why people have pitted. Like, Phil Mitchell's gone on to mediums.
He's thrown himself outside the points.
Phil Mitchell pitted and went on to mediums instead of softs, so he's thrown that. Shouldn't have pitted in the first place. Oh man, Phil Mitchell's had a stinker there, throwing his race for sure. Aiden's on the softs, but that's what I mean. Like, Aiden served his 5-second time penalty in the pits.
So he's back down to at least 9 seconds worth of penalties.
If Alpha if they have team orders, Aiden should let Alpha go straight away. Because Alpha only has 3 seconds worth of time penalties. So if Aiden gets in front of Aiden, he's automatically going to jump the cars in front of him up to max. So he'll be up to P3. If Aiden fights Callum and holds him behind, then the points for the championship are going to fly out the window there. But yeah.
Two drivers.
Some interesting calls from people.
Alpha Terry. And the Alpha.
I think the 2 Alfa Romeos having a very unlucky first race for sure.
They're really bunched up here behind the safety car. Hopefully they leave each other.
Interesting to see what happens. Davies is going to fly, Swanee's going to fly, Blink's going to be slow, and the 2 guys at the front just need a really good start. They need to get away as soon as they can.
If they don't, then they're going to have all the soft compound runners right up the gearbox.
And that's just a shame for Phil Mitchell. If he didn't pit, it'd be up in P4 right now on the mediums, which is already on now anyway. He's pitting for a fresh pair, which is a bit stinky, throwing his race away.
So the big gainer out of all of this is Lee Davis, because he stayed out on the mediums all the way, then pitted, and then we get the safety car right at the end as we had contact in the back between the Alfa Romeo and the McLaren.
Which is interesting because oh no, they've got that wrong. I think Pack and Phil switched positions there for a second after the collision. Safety car's not in the snap, so staying out for one more
time around. Just to pick up, it's the Alpha Tower that it needs to pick up, and then it will come in, I believe, at the end of this lap. So,
oh, as Blink nearly hit Max there under the safety car. I don't see why everyone's so close, man.
It's gonna bring it to the last 2-lap dash. Will those soft compound runners...
Brexit goes into the pits.
Yeah, he got wind damage from that contact with the McLaren. Oh, he's in. As also contact between Tenek and Bradley on their safety car.
And Blink and Davies are both overtaking each other. Like, this is what I mean. Like, why are there so many penalties, man? Just leave a gap.
Just leave a little bit of a gap. Just leave tiny. Just leave a gap. Don't need to be all up in each other.
Gap in front and behind. And
you have plenty of room to leave
before it goes. If you want to warm your tyres up, just back off a little bit. Don't hold the accelerator down and then warm up your tyres. There's no need to be this close. You're just, you know, giving yourself and other people penalties, which...
Just throwing your own race away.
Yeah. So, Tenek, who could have been up there fighting for a point. Lucy and Bradley, another collision. I don't think Bradley actually got any of those 5-second time penalties, so he's been hit twice.
I think the safety car is going to go with or without this Alfa Romeo, because it has to come in at the end of this lap.
It has to come in at this lap because there's 2 laps left.
So a nice 2-lap dash to end the race. I think we're just going to see some fireworks here.
I think we're going to see a lot of crashes. I think there's going to be a lot of stupid moves here, fighting for positions. And I think there's going to be a lot of crashes. Dangerous Donut, 21 lap hold hard. He's going to hold Insane Power and Phil Mitchell back for sure. But the fight for P1 here is going to be very interesting. I think Davies managed to pick up another penalty on the safety car.
Hasbro was very hesitant to make sure that the safety car speeds away.
Did he jump onto Hasbro? Did he have any warnings?
I don't believe he had. I think he has at least either one or one. He has one.
One, so 2 warnings free.
As safety car's coming in this lap, Hasbro's going to be the control car here. He can go whenever the safety car dives in. Make sure he doesn't.
He's got his tyres nice and warm. I think he's going to go as soon as he can. Hopefully this doesn't glitch because he's side by side with the car now, and the car's into the pits.
Max is ready to go. Max is ready to go. waiting on the Renault. Bunches it up. He's still bunching it up. Blink runs to the back. Blink runs into the back of Max. As Hasbro goes, that's a great restart for the Renault. As now
Davies gets a 5-second time penalty for hitting Blink.
Blink's still up the inside of Max. They make contact. Max has to go off the track, and I believe he lost position to Davies. It also makes contact with Swanee, and Max is going to slide it through. Spin it around. This Davies
resets. So Max just lost everything.
Lost it all. I don't think he's going to be too happy about that. It's now a battle for the putting spot between Lee Davies and Swanee. Swanee made up the most amount of spots here. Lee Davies is not going to give up that podium just yet.
Phil Mitchell gets past Xbox 7 up, he's up into P8. Davies is on the back, Aiden's on the back of Davies. Swanee.
Tires out of the session.
So lots of racing here, lots of crashes.
All goes
Max
wrong.
lost everything he gained.
The Mercedes of Max. As now Aiden is on the back of the racing point, can't fight his way through. Lead 6 of a 3-second time, it'll take.
Davies now has 14 seconds, he went from 6 to 14, so he gained a lot of
He's got that 5-second time
penalties
penalty.
in that one. So Aiden hasn't let Alphinator in front.
This is just holding up the Red Bulls. As
But,
now Lee Davies
fair,
look,
I think
the outside of
Aiden-
Swanee's going to send it in the stow.
I think even with the penalties we've got now, I think Alphinator still goes P3 based on the penalties.
It's going to be good.
Sorry,
Contact
P2.
with the Red Bulls. Aiden gets spun round by his teammate through Vale.
I think Callum knew that he needed to get in front for the points, and
Aiden
Aiden, I'm
was
guessing
letting
these
him
two aren't in
through.
a party with each other. Racing their teammates. As Alex Albon once said, they race me too hard. Phil Mitchell, Xbox 7 up and Alphinator all together
He's
here.
trying to find a way through a Blink. Just gets really sideways. No DRS for this last lap here. They're going to have to really get the slipstream here.
I think if Swanee's smart, he doesn't even push that hard. He's going to get past Blink on penalties no matter what. He doesn't want to take himself out and ruin this. Is Phil Mitchell gets past Xbox 7 up. Xbox 7 up's going around the outside.
Outside, can't find his way through.
Xbox 7
So
up has
Max
12
gets
seconds
put back
worth of
into
penalties.
place because of Aiden's spin. As now here is real battle right here for P8 and P6 actually.
Looking at the penalties, there's going to be a lot of moves here when the line.
The game's doing some
comes
maths
to
today.
it. I can't even speak English now. There's so much going on. As soon as we cross the line, a lot of positions are going to change.
I think
I
Swan's
don't
going to try to
even
get
think
this
Blink's going to
spot
get a
on track.
point. So Max getting past. He's into P9. Max. Oh man, it's gutting. I feel really
Gutted.
bad for Max.
You
I
just,
think Blink hit him at the start and gave him a penalty, and then did it again.
but
Blink
Hasbro
pushed
out
him
in
too
front
hard and
through the last corner. Hasbro wins British Grand Prix. That's another win for the Renault. Swanee gets
we're
promoted.
not
Lee
going to call
Davies on the
P2
podium
yet
now.
until everyone crosses the line.
Alphinator. Max gets promoted to P4 on penalties alone.
So Hasbro P1, Swanee P2, Alphinator P3, Max P4, and Phil Mitchell P5. I think Phil will take P5 after the spin at the start, but Max, what should have been P2, taken away from him after a collision with Blink apparently into turn 1, but he did reset to track,
So our points leader gets on the podium after a few races where he struggled to find some pace. Has gotten back on the podium and then re-entered himself.
did
at the
sacrifice his
championship final.
teammates. Did sacrifice his teammates race for the P3, but
Overall,
have a look at the
pretty
finishing
nice
positions
race.
here. So Hasbro P1, Swanee managed to get P2. That's a great recovery drive from him. I think he started in the bottom half at the start. Alphinator P3, Max Gun should have been P2,
But
after a collision down to P4, and might, depending on the reset to track, could lose that. Phil Mitchell P5 after the double spin. Danish done it in P6, but from the sounds of it, killed a couple people, so could lose that. Davies went down to P7. Also might have a few penalties to get removed under safety car. There's positions could still change.
man, this is gonna
because
go
of,
all over the place.
Yeah, this could all change due to the collisions under the safety car, but at the minute, Davies P7, Tenek P8, Blink P9, and Xbox getting P10, so Aiden missing out, who just unlucky, I think, caught up with a few incidents and the two pack boys in the Alfa Romeo not having the best first race of the season. Insane Power P14 Bradley, who was looking good for a top 5, top 6 finish towards the end of the race, ended up getting a P15, and then the three DNFs of Assassin Aaron, who brought out the safety car towards the end of the race, YouTube Flipper, and Chris in the Haas. But wow, what a race.
Brilliant.
Who are you calling for driver of the day then?
I think the game got it right. I think it should be Swanee. He did have a really nice race today. I think Phil Mitchell's up there too because of his nice recovery drive. It's gonna be it's close.
Might have to be something we decide off stream for sure, but we'll get a few people in. We'll start with Hasbo. We'll get Swanee. We'll just get the top 3 in for now. Who got 3rd? Alpha. I don't think Alpha does interviews, so we won't invite him. Who got P4? Max.
Max.
Invite Max, and we'll invite Phil Mitchell. Just invite a few people. Do batch production and that. Phil Mitchell. We'll invite Alpha, see if he does join or not. I don't know if he will or not, but ping him an invite. And we'll jump to the party so I can see who's actually joined. We'll start with Hasbo. Make sure you include your audio.
Yeah, it's all good.
So P1 didn't get P1 in quali. I think it was joint second for well, you got second and Max got 3rd, both on the same time. But got through the whole race, stuck in P1, and didn't get any warnings. How was your race?
Yeah, no, that was pretty spectacular qualifying time. I know the time boards and we were identical times. Yeah, well done to Xbox 7 up as well for getting pole position. I wrecked my last lap, invalidated it going through cops, just got a bit greedy on the curb. But yeah, again, lap 1, no incidents. Yeah, it was a quiet race from there on in. Just maintain that gap back to Max Rodders in Mercedes, and then usual fashion, safety car right at the end. Left it right until the last moment to bolt under the safety car, because I knew if I'd have gone before that last little chicane, is it Dublin Vale, then I'd have been struggling down into the first turn. So I left right to the last minute, and it seemed to work. So yeah, all good.
I think the call to stay out on the mediums was definitely the shout. We did think Davies had a chance of racing you and Max for P1, but got a few penalties under safety car, a lot of collisions and stuff in the last 2 laps. I can't actually remember what happened, half of it, because there was so much going on. But
it wasn't,
either way, a very dominant race. And
it wasn't a call to stay on the mediums. I missed the pit lane by about 100 metres. Literally, as it announced safety car, I was just driving past. So it was just bad timing.
Would you have pitted if you could?
Looking at the gap, probably not. I'd have probably stayed out anyway, because pit lane into it was quite a long one, so yeah, I think I'd have stayed on the mediums, but the other guys were right to take the gamble and go to the soft tyres. But yeah, luckily got away with it, safety car restart, and didn't really get challenged.
Well, congrats on the P1. You got Hungary next week, if I'm correct, if my track knowledge is good. What are your thoughts on Hungary?
It's one of my least favourite tracks. I think Suzuka's my least favourite, just because turn 1 on controller and through the S-bend is a nightmare. And then Hungary, for some reason, that little chicane around the back of the circuit, those curbs are massive and it ends up launching onto the grass. So yeah, I just need to get some practice into that.
Well, congrats on P1. I don't know if E-Dog has any questions for you.
I do have a request from Discord.
Yeah.
We need a hashtag blessed.
Well, congrats on P1, and we'll see you in Hungary next week.
Cheers, thank you.
We've got Swanee in here, P2. Swanee, you including your audio? So, I can't remember where you started in quali, but I know you were in the bottom half. I think you're in the bottom half anyway. A nice recovery drive, the safety car doing bits for you as well to get onto those softs and to jump everyone on the penalties. So at the minute, a P2, I'm not too sure what penalties need to be removed from the cars behind, but at the minute, P2, how was the race?
It was alright. Qualifying didn't go too good. I really want to do the medium to soft strategy. Because I've been speaking with it a little bit, and he was telling me it's quite good and effective around Silverstone. So I originally tried qualifying the mediums, invalidated twice on my 2 runs, finally got a lap in that wasn't great and was 14th or so, I think. And then I tried to choose the mediums to start on, and the game just put me on softs, which was a bit of a blessing in the end. So it wasn't too bad. I just kind of kept with a couple with like Aiden. I kept with him for a while. Chose when to overtake him, and then the safe car at the end nearly threw my race. But I need to go to the toilet the whole race. It wasn't too bad at the end. It was a very quick
Well,
pit
we
stop.
got a lot of the fighting between you and Aiden. I think the 90% of the stream was just you guys fighting for the P3 spot at the start of the race as well. The I think it's like P3 to P18. We're all fighting for that position. But either way, P2. I think you got to be happy with walking out on the podium after any of that. To be fair, was a very good clean race.
Cheers.
But Hungary next week. You a fan of Hungary?
Not really. I've raced about twice in open lobbies and both times been taken out. So it's not great. We'll be back in the grid qualifying again probably, and hopefully in the race pull it through. But who knows?
I think good practice makes perfect,
Yeah,
and
it
we'll
does.
hopefully we'll see you near the top of the grid again next week. But congrats on P2, and we'll
Cheers,
see you next
cheers.
week.
Thank you. Bye.
E-Dog, you want to do the questions for Mr. Phil?
No, you can take it. I don't have many.
Sure thing. Cam, you including your audio?
Yep.
So, a nice quali. Not a nice first lap. Do you want to run us through your first lap and the race?
Well, my first lap was very eventful. I span in the first turn, which made my rear left tyre very hot. So I went to the second turn, span again. So I was about a minute behind in the first two corners. But it was a decent race other than that. P5 with the penalties, but obviously it's FIA, could be lower, but P5 for now is decent.
Yeah, it was a nice recovery drive. I think you shouldn't have pitted for a fresh
Yeah,
pair of
that was
mediums
stupid.
towards the end. I think it would have been an easy P2, P3 if you hadn't have pitted. But teammate Ryan got caught up in an incident with Finn, I think. According to my dad, who ran in halfway through the stream, walked in and said, "Lol, Ryan just got murdered." I think Ryan got some unlucky action through there. But either way, Hungary next week is that one of your favourite, no, one of your preferred tracks or unpreferred tracks?
It's a decent track. You just can't hit the apex too much because you'll probably spin out. So as long as you're careful with it, it should be a good track.
Hopefully, a better race and a better first lap next week in Hungary. But yeah, congrats on what did you get in the end? I think it's P5. Wasn't it?
P5.
I think you got to be happy with that after the first lap. But yeah, we'll see you next week. Gonna scroll down my friends as quickly. I want to invite Max to join. He's not. I don't think he's getting my invites because he's on Do Not Disturb. But next up, we'll talk to Tenek. Tenek, you including your audio?
Yes, yeah, so it was an eventful race for me. I got on the opening lap, first corner, I don't know, someone spun, so I put on the brakes. I managed to get past it safely. And Aiden just slightly touches my right front, like literally, like he hasn't even touched my front wing. I get like orange wing damage. So he hasn't touched my wing at all. I get orange wing damage. It's like, it wasn't orange at the time. I mean, it got worse throughout the lap. So I had a box, like I think I boxed lap 2, and then I had a pretty quiet race up until the safety car came out, where Bradley went off the track, so I overtook him under the safety car, and it was allowed. And then literally about 30 seconds later, he's on his AI. His AI goes straight into the back of me, and I get a 5-second time penalty. So I would have been P3 otherwise. So that time penalty dropped us down to P7. I'm pretty sure it did.
I think there was a lot of penalties throughout the safety car period which need to be removed. I think the whole top 10 is going to change based on
Yeah.
penalty removals if they happen, depending whose fault it is. But
Yeah, 'cause
either way,
I mean, there was an incident with Bradley after the safety car where I move over to cover him off. And I've slightly touched his right front, like literally slightly touched. You know what happened to me in Austria? How it's like it looks like I've completely taken him out. He goes into Liam, and they both spin out, and Bradley DNFs. So that wasn't too good either. But I got fastest lap in the
that'll
end
be
as well.
interesting for FIA.
I got fastest lap
I
in the
think-
end as well. So
Either way, I guess we'll see what happens after all the penalties are removed or penalties are added, or I don't know. I think FIA once again are going to have about 400 reports to sort out, which is lovely for me and A-Dog. Let's go up the FIA. But Hungary next week. You're a fan of Hungary?
yeah, I really enjoy Hungary. Yeah, it's a really fun one to do when I've done open lobbies with Blinks and all that. I've always come out on top unless I haven't taken Finn out.
Well, hopefully we'll see you up on the top of the race next week, then, and we'll
Hopefully.
see you then.
I'll see you later.
Thank you. So we'll do Max, then we'll do Blink, then we'll do Finn, and then we'll round it off there. But Max, are you including your audio?
Yeah.
Max. Oh no. Easily would have been driver of the day if the events wouldn't have happened at the end. But P2 was, I think, after the amazing quali, you matched Hasbo's time on the dot. It was just consistent and keeping up, or kind of matching the Hasbo's pace halfway through the race. And then the safety car came out, stayed on the mediums, and then run us through what happened after the safety car start, because I don't think we quite caught what happened.
I don't even know, to be honest. First corner, I go wide, and then I just spun out.
Fair enough. Obviously, I'm gonna guess you're not very happy after that. Was definitely a solid performance. And I don't know what to say. Still got P4. I think you did reset to track, so it might change. It depends on the FIA, and I know there was a lot of penalties to be removed throughout the field, so once again could change there. But I think a very unlucky race, and you can definitely see the improvement on the wheel. I definitely, just very unlucky, and should have definitely been an easy P2 for you today. But Hungary next week. Have you tried Hungary on the wheel?
Yeah. It's alright, but I'm not the best at it, so I need some practice.
Well, hopefully you can match what you did today and try to do that in Hungary, and hopefully a podium finish, if not a race win for you next week. But once again, just unlucky today. I don't know if E-Dog has anything to say.
I don't.
But well, unlucky. I guess we'll see you next week, and yeah.
Thank you.
Blink Ben.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll call you the penalty collector. Can't remember where you started in quali, but fighting with insane power throughout the middle of the race on the hard tyres. He made a little mistake and fell out the DRS, and then to the end on the hards. If without the penalties, you would have finished quite high. I don't know where you finished after the penalties.
I finished P9, but yeah, I got a 5-second penalty because people just like to brake check on the safety car. Obviously, Max, it's none of his fault. I think I was at fault for his sort of like not him getting the podium. He deserved the podium, and I think I was mostly at fault for that. I got a bit greedy and stuck one inside of turn 1. But Hasbo, before we started the lap, he just decided to brake heavily in the last corner, and that obviously made Max do it, and I hit Max and got the 5 second penalty. So yeah,
I think I mentioned this to Evan. I think because of because of the pace of the field, when the safety car needs to be in the pits before people can go, and I think Harry tried to go before the car was in, so the game automatically slowed him down.
Yeah.
But, either way, there was some nice racing from you throughout the race between you and Insane Power. A lot of nice moves, and was definitely an eventful one. But obviously the penalties letting you down that race, and
yeah.
either way, you got Hungary next week. What are your thoughts on Hungary?
It's probably one of my more favoured tracks. I've got some decent pace around there, but you know, now my luck, I'll probably end up, you know, just inside the points. So yeah, we'll see, I guess.
Hopefully a better race next week, and yeah, we'll see you then.
Yeah, thank you.
And then last and not least, we'll go to Finn.
Oh.
Are you including your audio?
Yep.
So an eventful day for you as a whole. Couple incidents in quali of you blocking people's laps, and then you got some wing damage, and then got blocked yourself. Just run us through your quali.
So in quali, I was on a fast lap. It was a pretty good lap, and Aiden was he was just weaving in the middle of Maggots and Beckett's, or just before, and I had nowhere to go, and I just hit him, and he said sorry, and I think we put all that behind us, and then for him, I didn't even see him when I was trying to. I just didn't see him, and I pushed him wide, and I'm sorry for that. But the 5th place probably hampered me a lot.
Throughout the race, I think a few incidents as well. I don't know what happened between you and YouTube Flipper, but my dad's reaction when he came into my room was quite funny. Do you know what happened between you and YouTube Flipper and the Williams?
So I didn't want to make a move into Maggots and Beckett's because it's a hard corner. It's like to spin and hit each other. So I lift off, and then going onto the straight, I get a good exit. He gets a bad one, and he moves to the outside, I think. So I tried to get into his slipstream, and he moves really aggressively to the right as soon as I get there. And so I didn't really expect it, and he hits my front wing, which makes him take a wobble, and then he spins on his own. So I don't really know what I could really do there.
It's probably just overreaction from the family members, but either way, I don't know where'd you finish?
P6.
So you got some points. Obviously, penalties once again are going to play a big role in the final positions of everyone. After the FIA have done their 4.5 hour work session on penalties, but either way, eventful race at the minute. Some good points for Ferrari. Hungary next week. Are you a fan of Hungary?
Not really. It needs a lot of work. And Silverstone was good because on the first lap, I got a really good start, and then I got spun round. I don't know who it was, and then tires were really hot, and I spun and hit the wall, and I was dead last by a lot of time, and I carried the hards for about 25 laps, and I don't know. It was crazy.
So hopefully a better first lap next week, and possibly a fight for top 5.
Mm-hmm.
But congrats on the P6 at the minute, and I guess we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
So that will run all the interviews for today.